Hello, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, today I am making Acheke, originally from Ivory Coast, but Sierra Leoneans have a twist of it. So these are all the ingredients that I'm going to be using. Sierra Leone Acheke, we use a whole lot of ingredients than other people, how they do the Acheke, other countries. So this is the Sierra Leonean way. To start off, I clean my fish. I take the scale off. These fish do not really have that much scale, but I needed to like scrape the skin of the fish because it was frozen when I got it. I decided not to get the fresh fish because stuff is going on right now. There's too much going on, and to get a fresh fish, it's kind of hard, and you might end up getting a rotten fish. So this is what I got. So to start off, like I said, you scrape off the skin. Scrape it really good to make sure there's no leftover skin that needs to be cleaned off. Some fish have like a huge scale, but this one doesn't. It's called a yellowfish. And then you take the I think it's called the fin. Take the fin off from it, and yeah, it's easy to just use the scissors while you're doing that. For this one, I took the eyes off. Sometimes I do not take the eyes off the fish though, but for this fish I decided to. So the fish wasn't pre-cleaned for me. I have to do everything. So now I'm opening the stomach of the fish and I'm taking out our unwanted things that we do not need. So I'm gonna cut it close to the head so that I can take stuff off of the head too that I do not need. Meanwhile, that eyes is looking at me like, hey, what's up, Adama? But I'm gonna take it off. So I just took it off and then cleaned the head of the fish. It might look gross right now, but they said we're after a hurricane, like after going through this, you're gonna see the rainbow, the beauty of the fish when it's all fried up and you bite into it. It's like yummy. So excuse all the blood and all that. But that's the process, in case you never knew how to clean a fish. This is it right here from Taste of Salon. So my fish was all cleaned up. Now I'm putting in some seasonings, some white Maggie, not white Maggie, white pepper, and then my basil leaf, and then those are different kinds of herbs. Got it from a Ghanaian store. You can use whatever season that you have. You don't have to worry. And that's some turmeric powder right there. I'm sorry guys, for this recipe I do not have like all the ingredients because I feel like it will be a long list. But you know, maybe I'm lying. I'm gonna end up putting the ingredients down below, but let's see. So after you season it, you rub the seasoning because you want it to like go into the fish, and then after that I put it in the fridge for like an hour while I do the other stuff. So these were the ingredients that I have for my stew, like 3 big onions. So I'm gonna cut the onions, take the skin off and all that. So when a Sierra Leonean is making stew, we normally use a lot of onions. I know other countries in Africa will normally just use tomato, a lot of tomatoes. And yeah, for Sierra Leone we use a whole lot of onions. And I love it because onions have this sweet flavor to the stew or whatever it is that you're making. And if you're familiar with my channel, I always use lots of onions. So today, for the first time, I'm showing you guys how I do my onions. So this is how I cut it, the Sierra Leonean way. So normally we don't have chop board in Sierra Leone, so we use our hands. This is right now the chop board one is American. That one, when you slice it up like that, that's how we do our onions in Sierra Leone. We do more of sliced onions. Like when you have like a huge party or like a wedding, we like have like what, 6 bags of onions. That's how you cut it. You slice it like that. So when we were kids, they used to give that job to us. Oh, you the kids, come and cut the onions, because you know you're a kid. So yeah, that's what they used to do to us. So that's how I learned to like cut onions. It wasn't my favorite job to do because you know what happens when you cut onions, but we still have to do it because at the end of the day we have to support each other. So my onions was all done. Time to rinse the butter and cut my vegetables, in my peppers. So yeah, you take the seed off of the peppers and you slice it. So that black stuff looked like it was gonna stay. I'm like, no, I cut you, buddy. So I took it out, and I don't remember us really using bell peppers when we were cooking back home. But I mean, bell pepper is available here, so I have to use it on my stew. But we do use other peppers, but I don't think they were called bell peppers. The time I'm thinking about now was like when I was little. Maybe now they do have bell peppers, because like maybe from the supermarket and stuff like that. So yeah, um, you cut your bell peppers, and then the next thing I'm going to be doing is cut my tomatoes. Those bell peppers are looking good. And over here, I just decided to put my egg for it to boil while I continue with the rest of the process. So those are my habanero peppers. I cut them just so that they can blend quickly on the blender. And yeah, I'm cutting my tomatoes now. I didn't really take the seed off of these tomatoes because they were really not that fresh. Like, I mean, they were fresh, but they were not softened tomatoes. They were hard tomatoes. So then I cut my lettuce that I'm gonna be putting on the side of the acheke. Yeah. And the story with this lettuce. So I bought this lettuce like a week ago, but I was able to preserve it because when I bought it, I took all the water out and put it in a bag, and I took the air out of the bag. So if you want your lettuce to stay fresh, this is the method right here. Just take it out, dry it, and put it in a bag and suck all the air out. I still have the fresh lettuce in my fridge like a week to 2 weeks after. So these onions that I'm cutting right here is for the to put at the top of the acheke. So yeah, because the one that I use for the stew I already cut earlier. So yeah, I decided to like cut all the stuff in between before I start my stew. So those are my tomatoes. I cut my tomato, and I also cut some cucumbers, but I think I couldn't add the video when I was cutting the cucumbers. So, and this is my luncheon mint. When you want to do Sierra Leone salad, you want to do Sierra Leone acheke, you have to use luncheon mint. So, and I love luncheon mint a lot. This is a chicken version because I love chicken. So yeah, I cut it in the middle. I wasn't really like being artistic here. I just cut it whatever way I see fit. Normally I would take my time and like slice it, but I was like, ooh, not today. Right? Yeah, so that's what I did. I didn't really cut it artistically. Yay. So then back to the process of making my stew. I blended everything together, put my 1 cup of oil, put onions, and then once the onions was ready to tell the other ones come into the oil, I added all the onions on there. And then on the side I was frying plantain. Now that plantain was not for the actual acheke. The Sierra Leone acheke does not have plantain, so that one was just for me to snack on the side. Yeah, so yeah, those plantain. Oh, I have something to say about the plantain. So the plantain too, I bought it and it was really ripe. For me to preserve it, I cut it and I put it in the freezer. So if you want to preserve your plantain, do the same. And when you're ready to fry it, do not defrost it, just fry it frozen. So back to my stew. As you guys have seen already, I've already put my peppers, tomato, onions. Now I'm putting in my seasonings, and yeah, my basil leaf, I use my white pepper, and those are my Maggie like seasonings, and that's my old base seasoning. You know, just use whatever season that you have available for your stew. And my pot was ready also for my fish. I fried my fish. This big fish gave me headache, but glory to God, I was able to fry it. And on the other part, as you can see, I was also boiling my spaghetti. And I decided to cut the last fish. My spaghetti was done. I think you guys have watched a video of how like I cook spaghetti. And over here is my acheke. This is the packet acheke. You sprinkle some water on it. You add your one Maggie cube. We call it in Sierra Leone star Maggie. You put your star Maggie and then you put it in the microwave for 2 minutes. And then you take it out. I checked that it wasn't ready. I pour a little bit of more water on it. And then I put it for 30 seconds and it was all done. For the frozen one, I just put it in for 4 minutes. And by the time it came out, it was ready to like be mushed up and put the Maggie on there. And then after that, I put it back for 2 minutes and it was all done. To be honest, I prefer the frozen acheke. I do not like the one in the packet, so that's just my observation. So these are all the ingredients that I used, and I'm just gonna show you guys how to plate your acheke. So I put the gari first, and as you can see, this was the packet one, and it looked a little bit too small, like they call it couscous gari sort of. But when you do like the original salon gari, it doesn't come out like that. So then I put my stew on top, and I'm going to add my spaghetti and then my lettuce. I'm going to show you guys how to eat it and everything. You mostly eat acheke with your hands because you want to mix it all up. So you put your cucumbers, your onions, the ones that I sliced, and then my tomato. Like I said, this is how we cut our tomato, and then the boiled egg. I sliced it. And then that's my baked beans. We use baked beans for salad as well. So I'm going to show you guys in the future how to make scallion salad. And then that's my mayo. If you don't want mayo, you can't put it. Whatever thing that you don't want, you don't have to put it. But I really wanted to make this the original scallion acheke. And one thing I forgot to put on this one was the luncheon mince. But as you can see, it's on there. Thank you guys for watching. Love you so much. I finished the chicken and it was delicious.